Hello. There we go. How's everyone doing tonight? Sorry about about being late. My internet is acting up and we might experience some frame drops. Um, if it gets too bad, I do have a VOD channel. I need to put it in the description of the channel. I'll do that after the stream has ended, and I'll also put the VOD on Twitter when we get to that point. But yeah, this is Citizen Sleeper. This is a kind of a text-based RPG, very cyberpunk. I keep on hearing that's absolutely wonderful. So, let's get into it. Start a new game. Okay, we have a class. Operator or Extractor. Operator works with drones and high-precision remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. So, and then I have my skills down here. So I work with machines and physical tools, work with digital interfaces. I have a -2 endurance. Let's see, 0 intuition, 0 engagement. And I have a chance to gain cryo on interface actions. Okay. The Extractor. Extractors work on resource extraction, often in herd vacuum environments. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. Perk, photosynthetic skin. Sunbathe dice action allows energy recovery at home. Let's see, so 0 engineering, 0 interfacing, +1 in... Okay, so these are just like standard, I guess. We're gonna go with operator. Oh, I am tiny. Let's fix that. Yeah, that's better. First thing you become aware of on walking is the disconnect. Delay between thinking and feeling. Between wanting to act and acting. Minor. Almost imperceptible, but always present. It's at its worst when waking, when yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, in a body that was indisputably yours. Do we think of that body, or do we forget about that body? Remembering the body does us no good. If we can't get back to that body, why try to embrace it? You resist nostalgia. It is pointless, especially now. This is the moment to reach out, not curl inwards. This is your moment of escape, even if it feels immediately like you traded one prison for another, smaller, older, lifeless. Hi, Spectre. How you doing? Up, there goes my frames again. Come on, internet. I'm doing alright. I've been having some network issues, so if you notice some weird frame drops, that's what's going on. There's gonna be a VOD afterwards. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good, other than that. We're starting off as Citizen Sleeper. We're gonna play this for a few hours. Let's see. Reach out. You almost laugh, or you would if there was room, or even air to do so. The walls of the container are immediately present, cold, hard, at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and a retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered by the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. Remember the plan or remember the others. So they don't really give you any context to these. But I'm going to go with remember the plan. You mostly remember that it wasn't a good plan, but then your options were limited. And once you got the itch to get out, by any means possible, it was either that plan or something much worse. It was at least simple. Collapse the shaft, drift away in the chaos, slip into the cargo processing, seal yourselves into containers, then just hope the freighter left before you were missed. Some were lost in the shaft, others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and hurtless rock. Even if the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reached any destination. So this game is kind of like a tabletop RPG style visual novel. If you've seen any gameplay of Disco Elysium, it's kind of like that. So there are dice rolls, random encounters, statistics I have to keep track of. But it's also heavily text-based. Let's see, we'll try to rest. I try to rest, but I am restless. It has been a long time since you left, surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of the damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body has still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You have spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. Oh, you haven't played Disco Elysium either? We'll be playing that one after we finish this game. That one, it's definitely a lot darker in tone. This game takes place on a space station. I am essentially someone who gave up their body for a android body, at least from my current understanding. I escaped from some place. They don't really specify. I'm guessing some of my memories are gone. We literally just started, so I can't wait to start picking everything apart and unraveling this mystery. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves to your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. It feels something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from the rigor. Sound too. Everywhere, screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Ooh. Then light. White as the cold, softer and softer into a haze of dirty yellow. A figure appears. I am out. Okay. Okay, so this is our space station. Dragos. Pragmatic scavenger. It's been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You're slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. Okay. I am surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy runes along their edges, where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. So, Sleeper, you all thawed yet? Do I stay silent, or do I be a bit of a wise ass? Let's take the wise ass route. Never seen one of you come in like this. New subframes must have better perseverance than Sub-Zero vac. Seems more than a few of you frozen solid hull plates or inside outer locks in my time. It wasn't so lucky. Dragos comes into focus. Shrouded in makeshift tech, his head set with its glinting eyes mark of a drone operator. On his shoulders, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches, its irising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. Let's see. I struggle to read his expression beneath the tech. He seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he was figuring out what to do with me. Let's see. It's probably best if I ask what happened to them here. He ignores the question. I won't ask what led you to it, to sell yourself to a corporation, and I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now, and you are just software. A rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property. Ah, okay. So I guess I sold my body off, and now I am basically a runaway escaped slave. I nod along. Yes, I am nodding. I remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on my feet as you padded to the sleeper cells, the promise of a life off-world. As you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't my memories. These are things you know, but not the things you feel. You are no longer that person. You are an offshoot, copy. What you don't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. Essen Earp wants to protect their property. But if they can't keep hold of you, well then, no one can. Oh no! Talk about controlled obsolescence. I literally just fucking said it. You remember that too, or at least rumors of it from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence. a built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins to shut down. Separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? But for now, sleeper, you're one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away towards the glassy dome of the yard. The eye is the best place you could be right now. Let's ask about the eye. The station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with. He trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scraps these days, so you are welcome to it. Oh, well, that's nice. Something wells up inside of you. Emotion, fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. And I nod. Alright, you head on up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Drago stalks back into the Rex, his drones already converging on a rusting hulk. Plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. Okay, now we're at the tutorial. Welcome to Erland's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, I need to head to my current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container to rest and end the cycle now. And I can select locations by clicking on the icon. So this is my empty container. And end cycle. I like the art style. It even moves a little bit. You wake up. You wake curled up in the corner of the container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its messages readable but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It is impossible to know. After all this, what matters? Let's see. I don't really need to escape, because I've already escaped from the corporation that I sold my body to. Building a life, I mean, it's important, but I'm on a clock. My body is degrading. It's self-destructing. I am reliant on chemicals and supplement to keep it going, and I do not have those. Getting answers is probably the best bet, because those answers might lead me to those supplements that will keep me alive. It all matters. The past is impossible to escape if it remains a blur. What if Essen-Erp did to you? What Essen-Erp did to you cannot be forgotten. You need a way of understanding all this before you can move on. Where are you? What is this place? What happened to the others? The questions outnumber the answers. You want to change that, but you have to learn to survive first. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container: a mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electronic stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You thump the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them onto the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring, like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright polygonal shapes like angular suns bursting into your mind. There is something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it is long after you've finished drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Let's see, tutorial. Condition, action dice, and energy. Condition. My condition represents the current state of my artificial body. It depletes by 1 segment each cycle, but can also be damaged by violence, injury, or lack of food. If your condition bar empties, I will suffer a breakdown. I'm suffering a breakdown every day, so good luck. You'll have to figure out how to recover your condition now that you no longer have access to corporate pharmaceuticals that were keeping you alive. Okay. Let's see, action dice. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. The number of dice rolled is based on my current condition. The worse my condition, the fewer dice I have. Once you have used your dice, you cannot take any further actions and must rest to recover them, ending the current cycle. So I'm guessing I have, let's see, 5, 9, 13, 14 actions. Energy. You also need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but first I'll have to find somewhere to get food. Your energy depletes by 2 segments every cycle. If it becomes empty, I will be starving. When starving, energy loss becomes condition loss, and your condition will also deplete at double the rate per cycle. Oh no. So, let's see. Dragos stood in the corridor. Dragos has stood in the corridor when you close up the container. He is still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it is implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder, its cache of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? I'd say not good. I think that's kind of a fair assessment, not good. The drone chirps. Dragos nods. You notice that beneath your operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it will keep you safe. He pauses. So, I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? I'm not going to answer that with a question. It's heavily implied I'm going to need to work. Alright then. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old hulls down, sell them off to shipyards or the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally, we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper, you'll be used to the manual labor. And obviously, I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. These. He pulls out a handful of small metal bars. Air-walled cryo, isolated from the market. It's what we use for trade out here. He stuffs them back in his pocket. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited moving on as quick as you can. The sleepers, well... But things being the way they are for me at the yard, I need the help. Okay. He pauses, thinking of something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. He nods distractedly and turns, walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. So, I'm guessing this is my current objective. Let's see. Actions are the primary way you interact with the world of Citizen Sleeper. To perform an action, click and drag your chosen action dice to the slots. Okay, so this is where I drop the dice. Got it. Actions reward you with clock progress, energy, condition, or items depending on their outcome. There are 3 types of outcome. Positive, the action goes better than expected. Neutral, the action succeeds, and negative, the action fails. Action dice affect these outcomes as follows. So a 6, 100%, 5, 50% positive, 50% neutral. 3 or 4, 25% positive, 50% neutral, 25% negative. And 1 and 2, 50% neutral, 50% negative. Okay. So we have the type, either critical or repeatable. Critical actions can only be performed once. Risk, either safe, risky, or danger. With safe being no loss condition, energy, or cryo. Risky, a negative outcome means cryo or energy loss. And danger, negative outcome means condition loss. Neutral outcome can mean cryo or energy loss. Okay. Then you have the skill. So that is the skill or this action requires either engineer, interface, endure, intuition, or engage. And my modifier, and this is added to the action dice. Okay, so kind of like D&D. So, continue. The debt called in. Dragos is tied up in something ugly, and if he misses payment or two things... Let's see. Dragos is tied up in something ugly, and if he misses a payment or two, things could get nasty. Okay, that was worded weird. Back in business. Every salvager knows they are always just one lucky haul away from their next payday. So, hull dissection or manual salvage. So we're gonna go this one because we have a -1 to this. And it's risky, so we're going to take the safe route. No, I think that's a trap. Let's see. Tutorial, clocks. Actions often progress clocks. Clocks are displayed below the actions that fill them, and they track your actions and how they affect the world. Filling a clock means something good or bad is about to happen. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Drago's depths, cooperate with me. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Drago's debt, are cycle clocks. These clocks tick themselves once every cycle and can complete without a player's input. Any active clocks will be displayed on the icon for that location. Okay, so these are the clocks. Let's see. Tutorial. Drives and navigation. Citizen Sleeper, you will unlock drives as you discover more about yourself and the world. Drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives depending on which path you wish to take. I can track drives, and any tracked drive will place a yellow marker on locations that will help me pursue that goal. Access your drive menu via the arrow button at the top left of the screen. I'm now free to explore Erland's Eye and make a life for myself here. So I can track a drive to help me survive, look for food for energy and cover condition, fill clocks, progress stories, and remember to end cycle at my home when I'm out of dice. Okay. And I can use the mouse wheel to scroll along the station and rotate with A and D. Okay. So let's leave. Shipyard. So find a doctor. Let's see. Hellion Crossing. Merchants rule. Willing to run the gauntlet of the Hellion system are rare. For those that do, always return eventually. Salvage sortie. Takes several cycles to reach the storage boat and return, loaded with scrap from old wrecks. Empty container, so that's home. Assist the shipbuilder, haul materials. No, I need to find a doctor. Steal dock plans. Let's see. Haven and security have to have plans. Stealing them would be the fastest way to get to know this place and the most dangerous. We're not going to do this. This is a bad idea. Okay, so that worked out. And then we are out of dice, so we go back to the container. Okay, so guess we go. Okay. Hey, you want to earn a chip? So, Ankita stands beside a huge pile of tied together hull plates. She stretches her back, her shoulders bulging beneath her flight suit. Make it 2. Ankita laughs. This goddamn station. She sighs and pinches the bridge of her nose. Alright, come here then. You cross the docking concourse as she begins to split the plating into 2 bundles. What is it with this place? She asks, as she angrily lashes the massive plates together. Everyone wants their cut. She straightens up to an imposing height, her armor plates cracking, and looks you up and down. Or is it just that you all think I'm an easy mark? We all need to survive. Ankita softens. I get it. I do. She shakes her head, but if I could go just one cycle without some jumped up drifter trying to take me for an idiot, that would be nice. I mean, with like her being built like that, I'm surprised anyone kind of gives her shit. Ankita hosts one bundle of plating onto her shoulder. Come on then, enough chat. You've got to earn those chits. You struggle to shoulder the plates, but you do eventually. Ankita gives you a look. Ships this way, and she sets down a gantry at impressive speed. As you catch up to her, she turns down a passage, pushing through a small crowd of Steve doors. Why are you doing this yourself, or what is this all for? Let's go with the more existential question here. Oh, this. She nods at the plates on her back. I'm building a treehouse. She gives you another one of her looks. It's for the ambergris, that cutter you might have seen sitting silent out there. She rapidly turns another corner as you trail behind. She got cut up pretty bad on her last job, and I had to moor up here for a spell. But since then, it's only gotten worse. Someone got in to slice the core from our ship mine. So now she's gone dark. She shifts the panels on her shoulder. This upshot is that I'm short one ship mine with a ton of repairs to do, and the rest of the crew signed off the moment they got wind. I'd be stranded. So yeah, it's been a time. I don't know. Got a ship mine tucked away on that frame of yours? For a moment, you aren't sure if she's serious. Ankita swings the plates from her back, almost knocking you over in the process. This is me. She hauls the second bundle off your shoulder. You're the first person I've met here who might actually be considered helpful. She pauses, chewing her bottom lip. Oh my. Look, you want to help? Come see me. I need a hand putting Amber back together if you don't seem like the type to try anything stupid. Well, that's nice, I think. She passes the bundles of plates through the ambergris's outer lock and then turns back. Just don't go spreading all this around. Ankita throws you a couple chits. She gives you a parting nod and ducks through the doorway. Alright, get out of here. She calls back and the lock slams shut. Okay. Overlook Bar, sealed dock. I will be right back. I'm gonna get something to drink. And we're back. I have to say, like, the soundscape of this game is great. And, you know, it looks very simple, but at the same time, like, the way everything laid out just looks so nice. Okay, so I guess it wants us to go here now. But I cannot do anything here at the moment. Let's see. So I need data for this and I don't have it. Okay. What about the burr? Let's see. Buy alcohol, buy rations. Let's get some food. Let's see, WeWire drones. Can't do that. Okay, so now I can end the cycle. Let's see. This time I don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, that shifting skeletal ring, surrounds me. Ooh. For a moment you are gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across a colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging at the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange and then extensions as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No, you feel the station, like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. I want to touch it. You find a point in the station and you connect to it, pulse through it. Follow loops and paths under and around it. You touch more points than you have fingers. And then you try, in a moment of impulsiveness, to connect to them. The flow passes through you so rapidly that you feel yourself being carried with it, splitting and separating, eddying and gathering. As you do, things occur to you, things that you can't possibly know. You reach out, try to grasp them, try to touch them too. You notice a tugging feeling, pulling at you insistently, as if it were a small child. Somehow, it is pulling in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second and you feel it waiting there. The station splayed out across your mind, a storm of connective nodes waiting to be explored. And then it's gone. God, the way the story is told is so good. Like it paces itself with its wording perfectly. Okay. So I'm still trying to find a doctor. Let's see. So we'll leave that for now. I still need data. Let's see. Night markets. Pay, low and toll. Okay, so this is probably where my doctor is. Approach them, explore the market. Where is... Let's see, shipyard. All materials. Don't want to do that yet. I'm still wanting to find information. Let's see. Okay, so I got local knowledge. Bright Market is the busiest part of the Ice Lower Rim. You can find anything and everything here. I can't do that anymore. And I don't need to do this anymore. Let's see, I have a sense of the Bright Market now, of its rhythms and rules. You've decided you like it here. Okay. And as for directions, you end up at a drink stall debating the finer points of the Solheim collapse. You try to remember all the trips your companions offer you. Hey, there's my doctor. Next comes the call from an enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. You keep your head down and shoulders high in the queue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. Oh god, how long have I been dropping frames? Let's give it a second and hope it fixes itself. Come on now, you can do it, you can do it. I'm gonna stop stream real fast and I'll restart it back real quick. I just want to see if that fixes this connection issue. Come on, OBS. Okay, and we're back. At least I hope we are. And we're down again, at least. No, it's looking stable. Yeah, I don't know what's been going on with my internet today. It just has been absolutely awful. I have good bandwidth. I have more than enough that I should be able to stream without problem. I'm like 90% sure Cox is like throttling my internet. Anyway, while my frames are good, let's get back to the game. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in cue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. One second here. You were thankful for the tip-off that a doctor was operating out of this place. But now that you're here... you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer at the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying habdock, they have all made the long queue a test of your nerve. But your options are few. And without a supply of stabilizer, this body, your body, will... You suppress a shiver and shuffle forward to the front of the queue. You try to find something to distract yourself. I'm gonna look at the enforcer. The enforcer is looking down the corridor, and you dare to glance at him. His purpose is unmistakable. He is there to intimidate, threaten, and if necessary, carry out those threats. Did I not change my, Yeah, I did not change my stream title. Okay, there we go. His broad shoulders are framed with a metal exoskeleton. A couple of mirror-like implants sit below his eyes like mercury teardrops. Subsidiary sense input or aesthetic markers, you aren't sure. You also aren't familiar with the geometric blade-like tattoo on his arm, but you make note of it. You avert your eyes when he looks back at the queue. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway, and you catch a distant voice. Send the next one in, Toshiro. The enforcer jerks his head, and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the bright market-sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above, and for a moment, you are transfixed by the motion. Come, sit, calls a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turned away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. The figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as if to speak. They blink and then quickly regain their composure. I guess she's never seen someone like me before. Kind of flattering. And just look at that character design. Like, for a doctor, that's fucking cool. Please sit, they gesture to the bed, and then turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns, a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. Remain still, please. The tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from the expression when you first entered. Fear, recognition, sadness, unmistakably etched across their face. How long have you been on the station? They ask, scanner still to their eye. A few cycles. It's probably good for us to be completely honest with the doctor. Let's be real here. They nod. It's good you came to me. They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything. They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. Your body is dying. They say it without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. SN-ERP doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose. This game really loves its alliteration. I know let loose is a common phrase, but like, while I do love the way that things are worded, it's very difficult for me to pronounce some sentences. To prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case, escaping, they built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which SN-ERP remains the sole producer of. They look up. Sound familiar? I want to know how she knows this, because I'm pretty sure that the twist is going to be she's like former SN-ERP. They shift in their seat. You aren't the first sleeper I've encountered. Okay, curious phrasing. You wait for more, but they go back to their inspection. They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. I'm sorry, Sabine says, and you're unsure if they mean for the cold touch. You're unsure if they mean for the cold touch of the metal or everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm, and SN-ERP has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. I know little of this is of use to you. They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say anything, something. Sabine turns to face you. I may be able to help, they sigh. And then you see the darkness under their eyes, hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. You saw Toshiro outside. You nod. He works for my, benefactor, Yatagan. They are influential in the low end. They give me the space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers. Into their implants, sew up the wounds. They look away. But Yatagan has connections. Smugglers from the Starwood Belt, mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source the stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance. Sabine sets down those slates, their notes complete. This is dangerous, and it'll be expensive, but I think we can do it. Kinda wanna know why they wanna help me. Sabine walks away to the window, her face dappled by shadows of passing drones. Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead. You nod and leave, Sabine still staring out, unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face. But the room looks dark against the lights in the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. Let's see. So I need to find stabilizer. Get food there. Let's see. Or exchange. Shop buying good trades can get you. Okay, so this is basically just gambling. Though exchange is always hungry for new hardware to buy up, break down, and sell off. You're happy to supply it. Well, I don't have any scrap, so. Let's see. Nothing there. Dracos' yard. Let's see. Overlook bar. Let's see. Let's help her out. Ship shape per cycle. And leave. And that's all my dice for the day, so I should go back to my container. Complete active scenes. So, what scenes are active? Ah, okay. Infus is busy, his broad face uplit by the makeshift gas burner in front of him. With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus into a dented wok. His other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables and some red flecked dressing. The smell is incredible. You watch as he fulfills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with the bright salad and depositing it in plastic trays. A stack of chits rattles in his apron as customers file past the burner, handling overpayment. I'm gonna watch. Despite the queue, Infus doesn't rush. He dresses each portion individually, squeezing precise slugs of liquid from an assortment of bottles onto the bowl of torn leaves, and bright slices before tossing them loosely together. Occasionally, a waiting customer might mutter something about efficiency, but Infus remains steady in his process. After a while, the queue fades back into the crowd and Infus sets down his metal bowl and looks up across the burner to see you watching him. I can feel your eyes burning a hole in my bowl. Resample? I'm going to take free food. He gestures neatly. Come over. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks. The earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy the smoke makes your eyes water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire, and your skin hardens in its glare. I know you sleepers, Infus says while he cooks, his voice deep but clear. A hard life, a lot of stories. He glances up beneath the cap with his piercing eyes. I know. You begin to tell him about your journey to the Eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility in its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold and the dark of the container, and the endless cycle spent within it. Now it seems you tell him, like some dream that you once had but can never forget. You tell him that the Eye excites you and scares you, and you are unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually you trail off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time we can talk some more, he smiles. But next time you pay. Fair. Water. He slams a heavy hand against a button on the burner's side, and it shuts off. The roar of the flame and its impressive heat fades. Next time then, sleeper. He waves you away and begins to oil the walk. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearms, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks. Nut your daily Wi-Fi. How are you doing today? You walk away, and as you do, you take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste sensors light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. Just woke up. What time zone are you in? It's like 8 p.m. for me. 9:13 a.m. Well, good morning. What brought you to the stream? Also, pardon my frame drops. My internet's been acting funky. Let's see. So, get to know him first, fix the ambergris, build a ship mind. So I guess that's the end of this cycle. Why do I have a sus tag? Well, I'm a spy satellite VTuber. I mean, I watch everything. I see everything. My existence is inherently sus. I am literally a war crime. Oh, that's a first for you? Well, I'm glad to see that it's a first. Games aren't the only things I do either. I do occasionally do some programming content. I have a background in information security. So we might do some fun hackery things. at a later date. I just need to be careful about how I do things because YouTube doesn't really like that kind of content. Let's see. So now we're back in the container. Again, the skeletal ring of the station fills your mind. It sparkles with glittering lights, like stars reflected in a winter lake. It is clearer, crisper than before. The threads still pull, but you remain in place, flickering in the flow. Between the threads, you see bright shapes, catches of shimmering light beneath transparent crystal forms. You follow the path of a thread across the ring. Through these forms, you leap off into the void. You begin to understand. These are nodes and connections, a map of information of communication. There are so many layers, so many loops that it seems almost impossible to parse, but you begin to try. I think we should focus on the threads here. There are more threads than you can count. You choose one that passes nearby and approach it. As you inspect it, you understand why you instinctively chose the word thread when you first saw them. They are not single lines, but rough, fuzzy things woven from data strings of all kinds. Interesting. The threads and nodes, passages and puzzle boxes, one leads to another. There's so much here, so many answers, so many questions. All you need to do is follow the paths and open the boxes. You look out across this ghost landscape of exchange and see an opportunity. But then, your insistent tugging again, pulling at you. You look down again and see two lines of threads pulling in different directions, as if they were tied around you. Let's see. Let's go with the second. The second thread leads in, pulling deep into the station. Your gaze follows it, and this time you see something. A sphere shimmering above a strange angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing over you like a torch beam. Testing you. Hasting you. Okay then. I think that warrants a, oh my. Let's go with the first, see what that's doing. The first thread leaks out, away from the station, into the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. They're in a ship, and the ship is approaching ever closer with each cycle. Okay, so I guess that's the company that owns my body coming to repossess me. And my body is letting me know that, they're coming for me. I open my eyes. Time is short. Yep, it's my first time. I've been wanting to play it for a while. I got it on the Steam sale, but I wanted to wait until I actually debuted to play the game. This is actually my first stream since debut. Let's see. So I'm being hunted. That's no good. Tutorial, the cloud. Something has changed inside you. You can now access the data cloud of the Eye, a network of decaying protocols and data caches. While there, you can use dice and items to access systems and extract data. But be careful, these networks are old and strange. Click the I button at the top of the screen to toggle this view on and off. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I have an upgrade point. Oh no, I've been disconnected. Yeah. My internet has just been awful today. I don't understand it. I have, you know, enough, like, my speed is good enough that I can stream, but I'm pretty sure that, like, I'm being throttled by my ISP. Okay, so this is interesting. Don't really have good stats today. Data actions. Data actions allow you to extract data from the networks of the eye. They work like dice actions, but in order to unlock them, you must match your die to the one displayed on the right of the screen. If you have a +1 or +2 modifier, the interface goal, you should be given more possible dice to match. Okay. Oh, you've played this game a couple times? That's good, because I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, so bypass. Let's see what else I can extract. Okay, I can bypass with you. Another encrypted key. The cloud. As you drift back from the node, something latches onto you. A thread strung tight around you. It tethers you in place. A taste. The voice makes you shiver. Its source somehow both distant and close behind your ear. And yeah, I don't understand too much about the corp either. Outside of I sold my body to them and now they want it. And now they want what I'm inhabiting back. But then again, I've only been playing for, I don't know, maybe 2 hours. You see a distant glint of light shut off, and then suddenly a shape is at your side. It stalks around you, circling like a shark, like a wolf. Entity unknown, astringent, processing. Stay still. Ah, so that's what's hunting me. Please hold. Sentient protocol unraveling. The thread around you thickens until it's a ring, a cylinder, a tunnel of light circled around you. It's blinding for a moment, and then it is gone. As it fades, you see a figure, a creature in front of you. Its strange head flickers between different angles, reading you. Yeah, I look at this and I can't help but think that I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going. Let's see. What are you? Or what did you do? I know what you are, so... The shape paces around you on lithe legs, though there's no ground here to pace on. Entity, identify, origin, serial, cadence. The figure faces you expectantly. I'm gonna stay silent because, you know, you don't talk to pigs. Refusal. The figure's strange head rotates. Brackus, signature of and not of, attempting interface. As the figure speaks, more threads begin to spiral from its head. Thick, snaking, vine-like ribbons that flex and wave. They approach with intent. stop. The figure halts its threads, its head twitching. Entity, your identity is unknown. We only seek to correct illegalities. Can you confirm your legal right to sentience? I'm a person. Incorrect, you are an entity. All at once, the hunter's head is directly in front of yours, blocking your vision. You stink of their taste, the one from the sealed dock. Hunter shimmers with fury. I will find access. I will interface. An entity hides in the rotunda. You are its puppet. Hunter extends her razor-edged thread. I will not be diverted from my task. It closed with murderous intent. Oh, I'm gonna punch it. You lash out with all your force. Not a physical strike, but a focusing, a spike of interference leaping out like the tip of a spear. Hunter stumbles, shifts, and separates. I open my eyes, blinking back to the station light, shaking with fear. Interesting. So I guess the more of these I do, the more likely I am to get the attention of the hunter. Which is understandable. Yeah, that makes sense. Live antivirus. Let's see. Okay, my roll's still exactly great. Let's see. As you close up, a voice echoes down the corridor towards you. Sleeper, wait up. Huh. Fing. Fing is coming down the corridor towards you, a wonky grin on his broad face. Hey, glad I caught you. He grins. Do you now? Well, you do now. There we go. He puts a hand on your arm. I've been seeing you hanging around. Just want to chat. You staying in that thing? He nods back to the container, shaking his head. Rough. It can be hard to get a start on the eye. He looks away down the passage. What was it old Erlen said? The eye opens for us all. Nice idea, but not always very practical. He glances back at you. We do our best, but it isn't easy. Who's Erlen? You pass together into the main walkway. No one has told you about Erlen? He's the founder of this place. That's why it bears its name. Haven should organize some seminars, he laughs. Not really my department, though. I'm with systems. Everything the eye runs on. He runs a hand along the passage wall. This place is a ruin. Systems keeps it spinning somehow. Or at least we try to. He stops you in the quiet passage. Look, that's not what I'm here to discuss. I saw you around and, well, I know a little about you sleepers. I have a little proposition for you. He glances around, but this is not the place for it. Oh, thanks for the follow, by the way. I just noticed that. I have my follows on like a completely other screen, so sorry about the delay. I have an office just across the way. Give me a cycle or two to prepare then. When you're settled up, stop by. He lowers his voice and gives you a dark look. In truth, I need you. Well now, a little forward, aren't we? If what they say is true about you sleepers, well, there's work to be done. What do you mean by that? He pats you on the back, his voice bright and his dark look suddenly gone. Stay clean, sleeper. He walks off down the passage, raising a hand in farewell. Okay. So, what to do? What to do? Well, our rolls aren't that great. I'll say that. We can try and help out Drago. Okay, I need food. Let's go get food. Try to get that money back too, because I want to get down to the lower level. All right, let's head to the lower level. Let's see. And now I have access to here. Let's see. Maintained by the residents, the ramshackle blocks here are always in need of repairs. Helping out's a good way to make friends. The clack of filter caps can be heard in every conquest and lower end. The residents play rotating rounds of this game for bio. Okay. The Free Spoke towering transit hub. Enter the Spoke. Tango network of service passages and makeshift tunnels cut through the Spoke as if it were a hive. There are no maps here. Scale the Spoke. Listed with precarious elevators and stairways, the Spoke can be navigated from the outside. The climb requires bravery. Okay. Founder's Gap. So that's another thing that I'll have to pay for, because that's how they gate things off. And I need food. Um, so let's get some money for food. Alright, and that's that storyline, at least I think. You arrive into a buzz of activity at the yard. Red blinking lights flash across a vast dark shape. Suspended below the dome, they flicker across scorched hull plates and bent structures, spilling from the holes in the twisted shape. The cutter is huge and has been torn apart in some violent encounter. She's a beauty, isn't she? Drago stands to the side, focused on the hulking ship as it slowed into the yard. Let's just agree for the sake of agreeing. I should thank you. Space was on its last legs when you turned up. Now look at this. And now look at this. The ship descends slowly, its interior visible through multiple hull breaches. You struggle to gather the same enthusiasm as Drago's for this monstrous craft, but you can't help but think of what became of its crew. What do you mean? He glances up at you. I managed to convince our scavenger friends to give it to me on credit. That's what happened. Uh-oh. We may have done well, but we can't afford a down payment on this one. Pats you on the shoulder. Don't worry, we'll make it back once we chop this beauty up. You sigh, but Drago doesn't seem to notice. The ship creaks like a calving iceberg as it reaches the base of the yard. Drago is visibly excited. I know I said you shouldn't stick around, but I'm going to need some help with this one. The drones start to crawl over the hulk, the lights illuminating the flashes of dented hull. Watching, you wonder if you arrived in a similar fashion, locked up inside that container, the wreck of the S&R freighter lowered into the yard like a corpse ready to be butchered. Or was it the container lowered to Drago's on its own, a womb for your rebirth into the strange situation? Well, into the strange station. Also situation, I guess. You shudder. Perhaps if you could learn something about this ship, you might be able to trace the path that led you to this yard. Drago squeezes your shoulder. After these past cycles, I think we are up to it. What do you think? You see the fading name of the ship emblazoned on its side. Winter Light. Yeah, it seems to be a theme of the stream. Fuck it, let's do it live. He claps you on the back. Glad to hear it. Come back in a few and we can make a start. A real beauty, Dragos repeats, perhaps just to himself. Take one last look at the shattered ship and the drones start cutting, and then slip out of the yard, feeling suddenly cold in the empty passage. Hey! Got an upgrade point. You've completed your first drive. Each drive completed unlocks an upgrade point. Spend on upgrading your character. Access the character menu via the arrow button at the top right of the screen. So, let's see. Try to go for discounts. Which one is discount? Oh, Obsessive Haggler. Okay. Yeah, I'll save my points then. Alright, first, food. Let's just go ahead and double up. And then... see what's going on here. But actually... Sabine has stuff for me. The first thing you see on entering is the glint of Toshio's implants. Like a cat's eye in the dark of the corridor. He nods you in as you arrive at Sabine's door. The entryway is still dark and you push through the sheeting into the surgery. I have it. Sabine stands with the case open in front of them. A set of vials lined up inside, separated by foam inserts. They pick one up, rotating it in the warm light. I have no idea how Yatagan. They trail off. We should treat this with caution. It looks authentic, but I have no idea if it really is what it appears to be. So I guess it's time for me to be the guinea pig. That seems to be the case. Unfortunately, I'm not sure whether we have another choice. They just refuse to sit on the bed. The stabilizer works under a similar principle to an immunosuppressant in an implant operation, that it stops your body from rejecting the unfamiliar part of itself. In the case of your frame, the unfamiliar part is each your biosynthetic organ groups, which over time are identified by your body as foreign material and therefore must be eliminated. Sabine holds a vial of the would-be stabilizer. However, unlike an immunosuppressant, the stabilizer doesn't do this by limiting your entire immune system. Instead, it re-encodes your biosynthetic organs with new protein chains, which acts as passcodes within your immune system. The stabilizer refreshes those passcodes, keeping your frame from rejecting all of its own organs. In very basic terms, yes. They sigh. Look, what matters here is that the stabilizer should be able to encode any organic or biosynthetic matter to be accepted by your immune system. They glance away, at least if the stabilizer is genuine. The only way to know for sure is to inject the vial. They begin readying the syringe. I'll start with a small dose to limit the risk. Oh, let's do it. Sabine cracks the glass with backs the glass neck of the stabilizer vial and uses a syringe to extract a fraction of the liquid. They tap the syringe and you watch as if any sign might emerge from the clear liquid. You barely feel the needle, the frame registering the initial injection but with little response. A sensation begins to spread from the site, a fizzing, trembling wave that disperses through your arm with incredible speed. Your vision goes white, and when it returns, Sabine appears encased in shards of sparkling light that slowly fade into darkness as you settle back against the bed. Well, that sounds actually quite nice, I guess. You swim in darkness, muffled noises, like an argument you heard from underwater, trickling waves of cold. When you sit back up, Sabine is sitting in a chair by the window, facing away from you, backlit by the glow of their slate. Awake? That's what happened. The stabilizer is genuine. They sit down beside the bed. I don't know how Yatagan acquired a case of this stuff, but they did. Sabine looks troubled, distracted. You should rest some more, but you're going to have to do that somewhere else. They gesture to the door. I have other patients. Sorry. Sabine nods towards the case. I'm afraid I can't offer you any more doses. You're going to need to pay for your next dose. Silence fills the room when they return to the glowing slate. Looking around the room, it seems different somehow, as if things have moved or shifted. You wonder how long you've been out. Nothing comes free, Sleeper. Remember that. Yeah, that's dark and ominous. You manage to get to your feet and wander out into the hallway. The queue stretches down the flickering corridor. Toshiro stands impatiently by the door and fixes you with a glare as you leave. You lower your eyes as you stumble past, somehow faintly aware of the station spinning beneath you. Let's see. Oh, shit, that's expensive. Okay. Oh no. So that's what happens if I fail. Okay, so only mess with this if I have good drones. Got it. Sleeper. Fang catches your attention as you approach the Havenage building, leaning against a bay door to the side of the entrance. You approach. Easier to come in this way. Security, all that. Gives you a look. You know. He slams a button and the bay creaks open, blinking lights in the dark behind it. You follow Fing inside. Truth be told, I don't spend too much time upstairs. This is where I work. The door hisses as it closes behind you. The bay is filled with pieces of hardware, all rigged up to generators and diagnostic slates, and things you don't recognize that glow with blue screen light. There's a chorus of hums that blend into a single wave of static, filling the dark corners of the room. Oh, this guy. Oh, is this dude shady? With a face like that, you kind of have to be shady. And, you know, systems engineer, there's some hackery bullshit going on. I can already tell. Fing leans on a server stack and gestures around. You like it? Well, me being a, spy satellite and made of, machinery, I'm going to say it's incredible. He smiles widely. Thought you'd say that. He taps a nearby server stack, which bleeps in response. This is my treasure trove, all dredged up from the sea of systems we call the Eye. You wouldn't believe what this place runs on. Well, I've kind of been in your systems already, so I guess I kinda would? He steps over to a towering block speckled with vents. Some of these systems are from the original station, AE-1. The Solheim unit. We had to invent new components, repair things we never built, reverse engineer entire subsystems into existence. Residents here look up at the Eye and think that they are seeing a constant, concrete reality. But this place is a system in a constant flux, decaying and growing, collapsing into new configurations. He walks down between the hardware stacks and you follow. We are keeping this place alive, but also remaking it into something new, dragging it away from those corporate origins. He stops. At least, that's what I'm trying to do. He turns back to face you among the flickering machines, humming all around you. I know you can see this too, Sleeper. All these systems and sections. You can, can't you? No need to lie. It makes sense, right? You're between here and there, between the people and their systems. You light this place up like a beacon. That's what I need. You glance at the lights around you. As you do, they seem to flicker, to realign, to follow your gaze. Bing notices it too. I'm guessing being a beacon isn't always ideal when you're on the run though. There's no need to lie to him. He knows I'm being tracked. He pats you on the shoulder. Maybe I can help with that. There's a lot of old growth in this place. Subsystems I can't see. Access protocols lost to time and decay. Secrets. A shitload of secrets. With your help, I can unlock this place. Break off those last ghost limbs of corporate control. He lowers his voice below the hum. Even in Havenage, there is old growth. Those whose roots trace back to those bad old days. You help me dredge up the past, and I'll see what I can do about that tracker of yours. He winks. What do you say, Sleeper? I don't really think I have a choice in the matter. Because either I help him out or I'm going to get, you know, cyber tentacled in my sleep. Did my stream die again? Did me not notice? Fing pumps his fist and claps you on the shoulder. He meets your eyes. You won't regret it, Sleeper. I highly doubt that. Fing passes you a ragged-looking metal slab. A gift, he smiles. It's a Solheim cipher. I dug it up from the depths of the station. Slot that into an old network gate and you'll be able to pull all kinds of secrets from the nodes inside. He walks you back to the front of the bay. Ah, okay. Thanks for letting me know. He walks you back to the front of the bay. Start by bringing me whatever you can turn up. Use that emulated mind of yours to see what's out there. Let's get a picture of how things are. Those above, he nods at the ceiling, have granted me an acquisitions budget. I can pay you for whatever useful data you bring in. I know you need it. He slams the door button again. Keep it quiet and keep it clean, Sleeper, and I'll see you soon. Yeah, that's shady as fuck. You step, blinking, back out into the passage, those flickering lights still in the back of your mind. Let's see. So... data for Fing. Guess I do have data for him. Oh, okay, it has to be specific Solheim data. Not much left I can do, so we are going to end the cycle. I think we are going to call it. I'll keep the sound going in the background though, because it's nice. We will play this game again next Tuesday. I do have a YouTube channel. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, and that way you can get the VOD of it. I'll also be putting the VOD here on Twitch as well as the YouTube channel, so you can go and, you know, find that and watch it without any stuttering or interruptions. Next stream will be Thursday, and we'll be playing AI: The Somnium Files. Now it's time to find someone to raid.